Today we are going to give you a brief glimpse of who this elementary child is, how they work, how they think, how they learn, and how Montessori supports them in this crucial phase of their life. So this is the agenda for the day, and at first we are going to look at transitioning to an elementary environment. So children who are around the age of 5.5 to 6 years have come to an end of their journey at Casa. So these children are emotionally well settled in school, and they are independent and confident, and they also have strong academic foundations. They can read and write simple sentences. They are clear with all the four math operations. They are able to follow simple instructions, and most importantly, they can focus and work for a longer duration of time. Children, they are aware of when they are going to transition to the elementary environment. In spite of that, the CASA adult prepares them for the transition. They inform them about when the transition is going to happen and how it is going to happen. They prepare the child for transition. So on the first day of transition, CASA children visit the elementary environment along with a trusted CASA adult. We have a round of introductions, and an elementary child gives a tour of the environment for this child. And we usually start for the transition for 10 to 15 minutes, and gradually we increase the time so that by the end of the month, the child is fully transitioned to the elementary environment. Transitioning to an elementary environment is not a sudden change. It is actually building upon what they have already learned in CASA, and it is just that the child is seeing the world in a different way. Now, let us look at who is this elementary child. So, children between the age group of 6 to 12 years are called as elementary children. Dr. Montessori says that this is the time when the child moves from wanting to be independent to wanting to understand the world. Their thinking becomes outward. They are interested in humanity, history, the universe, and the society. A Casa child is a sensorial explorer. He explores the world through his senses, and he constructs himself using his senses. But an elementary child is an intellectual explorer. He uses his intelligence to understand the world and be a part of this society. For this to happen, he has two powers: the reasoning mind and imagination. So, what is reasoning mind? So, if you are with an elementary child, you will know they will always ask questions. Why? How? Why are we doing this? How is this working? Why can't we do it like this? So they constantly question you. The most important trait of an elementary child is this constant questioning. Montessori sees this as a very healthy sign. They are not interested in mere facts. They want to know the reason, cause, effect, and how it will affect them. And what is imagination? So, a Casa child needs concrete materials to work. But for an elementary child, it is not so. They can think about volcanoes, imagine about ancient civilizations. They can understand how life was created on Earth and how early human beings worked. So through stories, we support this imagination. We give stories about how the Earth was created, how early human beings lived. All that stories are given to children, and we use this imagination for their research, for reading and writing, and to explore further. Imagination is not a fantasy here. It is seen as a tool to bridge knowledge. Now, if you are with an elementary child, you will know they always want to be with peers. They have a strong sense of justice. So, what is justice? They want, they are always interested in rules. If you go to the park and if you see a group of elementary children, say they have 1 hour for playing, but for the first 45 minutes will be spent on making the rules. Okay, you can draw this line, you cannot cross this line, oh no, you cross this line. So they spend, for us we will be going crazy, oh there is only 1 hour for playing, and they are spending most of the time forming the rules. But they want this, they have a high sense, they want that moral compass. So how do a Montessori environment supports this is, we have discussions, We arrive at rules by discussions, and we don't want blind obedience for them. So we support this trait by having discussions with children, and the rules are formed along with the children. We had interesting something happened in class. So children after lunch they have to clean their place. So what happened was, so after lunch, if there are spills, you have to clean. Okay, human beings, as human beings, we are experts in finding loopholes. We need not talk about children. Children are the experts. Okay, they know where the loophole is. So if there are spills, you have to clean. So no, auntie, that chapati is not mine. Auntie, அந்த அரிசி பருக்க வந்து நான் போடல. So as an adult, I was going crazy. Oh, you brought lemon rice, that yellow color piece is yours. Then it was not working out at all. Okay, then we had a meeting, we had a discussion, and we said that, see, there are spills, then what to do? The class cannot be dirty. You come and say that, the floors are sticky. What to do? So we had a discussion, and they were giving a lot of ideas. And when some suggestion was said, another child said, no, it won't work out. Some children have lunch for a long time. Then how will you clean? Our book reading session will be cut down. So what can we do? Then they came to a rule saying that after lunch we have to clean the place no matter what. We are not going to say that, there are spills, there are no spills. We are not going to go into that discussion. No matter what, we will be cleaning the place. And we have all these tiny policemen in the environment. So they make sure that, you clean the place. And he missed. Now I'm not tracking who brought chapati, who brought lemon rice. Okay, so that is, they are developing their moral compass here. And if you look at the elementary child, they love to work in groups. So in an elementary environment, children always work in groups. A small group of 3 to 4 children work together. So when you enter a Montessori environment, there will be a lot of elementary environment especially, there will be a lot of discussions, debates going on. So it is a collaborative space and not a silent room. So the goal of a Montessori approach is to awaken wonder, gratitude, and responsibility in the child towards the world. With the characteristics of the child, and with the Montessori approach, and with the vision of the environment, vision of our school, we have prepared the environment here at TTC. So like any Montessori environment, if you enter a elementary Montessori environment, it will be uncluttered, beautiful, and harmonious. So we have materials, Montessori materials and teacher-made materials which align to the needs of an elementary child. The main areas of work are mathematics, language, biology, history, geography, and geometry. There is freedom in the environment with clear limits. The environment is designed in such a way that, it supports intellectual growth, shared work, collaboration, research. When you go to an elementary environment, you see that it is a mixed age group. Children of 6 to 12 years work together here. They will be working in small groups, and it is a mixed age community. How do we introduce concepts to children? We introduce a concept through concrete material. Usually they work with the concrete material for a long period of time, and they move on to the abstraction of those concepts presented. For example, if you take fraction, so how did we learn? We had books and we learned. We have here concrete materials with which children will be working with the concept of fractions. So once they have worked with it enough number of times, they come to the rules. Like, you do like fraction addition. What you have to do, you have to just add the numerators, and the denominators remain the same. This rule is not taught by the guide. The children arrive at the rule. So when they arrive at the rule, it stays with them for a longer duration of time. Last week we had a very interesting conversation. One child was having a glass of water. He was just sitting there and he said, "Auntie, you know what? Words can be noun, and the same words can be verbs also. So water can be noun, water can be verb. Fan can be noun, fan can be verb." So he was giving examples where the word acted as a noun and where the word acted as a verb. So this is the synthesis of some work that they have already done. And also there was a child who was working with multiplication. So even for multiplication, we have concrete materials here, and the child was working with it, and he had a multiplier he was working with a 2-digit multiplier which had a 0 in it. So the child was taking 3 taken 0 times. 0. 4. He couldn't take the material because it was 0. So 4 taken 0 times. Again it was 0. For that child, it was a huge discovery. He was so happy. So anything I take, it turns out to be 0. So when these discoveries are made by children, it stays with them for a longer time. For us, we would have just learnt it from the books. Here, they understand why it is 0. So when there is understanding, the abstraction stays for a longer duration of time. As I told you, this environment not only supports intellectual growth, so this environment supports emotional safety and social development. If we look at the elementary environment, the adults there, we continuously observe our children. So through our observations, we support them in their academic work, and we also observe how they are interacting with their peers, and we have discussions with them regarding how they are working and how they are interacting with their peers. And these discussions happen individually. We support them in their how to resolve conflicts, how to regulate their emotion, and how to the appropriate way to interact with peers. There is no fear, or the child feels heard, and there is no fear around learning. The feedbacks are individual, and it is given as a discussion. So when there is a discussion, the children can reflect upon the situation. They know, so this has happened, so why did this happen, and how can we take it forward. So there is a reflection, they reflect on their actions. So when there is this kind of learning, there is no fear around learning or expressing their opinion. We do presentations. So when we give a concept to a child, we invite a group of children. Usually this group is around there are 2 to 3 children in a group, and that group also has children of mixed age group. It's not all the 6 years together or all the 7 years together. There will be a child who's 6 years old, there will be a child who's 8, and will be a child who's 10-year-old also. So how will this work out? For the 10-year-old, for the older child, it might be a revisit to the concept, and for another child, it is just the introduction. And also, each children has a different skill set. They bring different skill set to the table. So one child might be very strong in the concept, the other child might be very strong in the spellings. So they collaborate and learn. There is no stigma in asking for help. They know what their skills are, and they know what the skills their peers have. So they share their skills and they ask for help. This enables them to learn without fear, without any stigma, and also learn how to respect each other, to know what your peers know and respect whatever your peer knows. Okay, an elementary environment is called as a dual environment. So what is a dual environment? For elementary children, the learning does not end in the classroom. It's just the beginning. The ideas are just beginning in the classroom. As we saw that these children want to explore the society. They want to know their part in the society. So how do we support that? We present a concept to the child. The child works with it extensively with the material here. And once they have exhausted all the resources that are available to them, they move outward. We had given a planned classification presentation to children. So what they did was they worked with it for a long duration time. They used the material, they researched, they did project work. Everything was done, but they wanted to visit a park to look at different. Here the real of samples were very less because we don't have a lot of examples here. So they wanted to go and visit a park which had a lot of varieties of plants. So we visited a eco park. For this trip, the entire trip was planned by children. There were a group of 4 children. They planned the transport charges, the entry fee for the park, on what days are the is park working, what are the timings for the park, and how to go from school to the reach, how what is the mode of transport. They decided everything. They looked after the budget and the permissions that have to be got. So should we go meet the school head, or should we go and meet call and ask the park what is the timing. They researched on everything and they made the plan. So goal is not only academics, but also to know how to interact with the society. The interesting thing after the visit was that they came and told me that there will be adult in this group, but that adult is just a silent partner. We don't overly guide the child. So after the visit, they came and told me that more than plans, what we learned was that we have to go by town bus, because that was the first time for the 4 children to use a public transport, town bus. They were taken aback by the crowd, that you have to share that space with n number of strangers. It's not even the people strangers. Then how to navigate, how to buy a ticket from the, so we have to buy a ticket from conductor. That was a news to them. And then you have to go buy tickets from the park, and if you leave the stop, that's all, it's gone. You can't get down. Then you have to wait for the next stop. Then how are we going to come back? So timings, will we get the bus? That was the learning. And they said that they came and told, that is the learning. We didn't see anything about the plans. So this going out enables the children to have real life experiences. Based on this only, we plan our school trips also. We look at the needs of the child, of an elementary child. We keep the needs of the elementary child in mind, and based on the needs, we plan our visits. Like it will be trekking, or where there is a lot of nature, where there is a lot of flora and fauna, or historically important places, or museums. That's where we go and visit. You're all aware that Montessori environment gives a lot of freedom. So that continues in the elementary environment also. They have the freedom to choose work. They can work with a concept for however long they want. They can repeat it n number of times. They can move across the environment freely. They can choose the space where they are going to sit and work. And the added to that, they can also choose with whom they are going to work. Or they want to work individually, they can decide that also. And they have the freedom to repeat the work n number of times. They are also responsible for completing the work, taking care of their materials, respecting each other, and managing time and contributing to the community. So what is contributing to the community? Elementary children have a lot of responsibilities in the environment. So what kind of responsibility that we can take? This also is discussed. Can we do it? How are we going to execute that responsibility? Is it possible for us to do it? And when to, do we have to do it in the morning or in the evening? When to execute that responsibility? All this is discussed with the children, and the consequences also. If we miss it, what is going to happen? So based on the discussions here, children dust the environment on 3 days. They wash the dusting clothes weekly once. They sweep and mop on 3 days. And they are also stationary. They water the plants. They are stationary in charge. So when I say about consequences, what is consequence? As I said that, we have stationary in charge who makes sure that papers are there for the next day. Art and all their writing papers are ready for the next day. So if it is missed, then the next day we are going to work without the papers. So that is the consequence which was arrived at with the children, taking into discussions with the children. And recently our older elementary children have started helping in the overall running the overall school activities also. They are setting up the toddler environment. They sweep and mop the outdoor area. They also help in setting up the environment, toddler environment. And recently our toddler children have started meal prepping. So for that, they chop vegetables, get everything ready, and they keep it ready so that toddler children can use it. Added to that, they also make tea, coffee, buttermilk for the guides and give. So these are the, so here we arrive at a responsibility through discussions, and we don't blindly say that, you know, you have to do it. So together as a community, we do things, and children take up responsibilities based on trust. So the role of the adult, we, yes, we do give presentations, we introduce concepts to children, but the main role is to continuously observe children. As I told you earlier, so these observations are for, you know, academic work, and also how they interact among their peers, which is also a very important part of an elementary child. After, based on our observations, we help children in their academic work or social interactions. These feedbacks are done regularly. We have individual conferences, student conferences, where we meet every child individually, and then we give feedback on what has worked well and where they have to put in more work. For example, if we see that the child is not taking up work from a particular area of work, so we meet the child, we have discussions, and see how the what support we can give to the child. If it's just planning, the child is not able to plan the day, you know, in effective manner, then we guide the child to plan the day and include activities from all areas of work. So we have discussions with the child, and you know, during these discussions we don't point out, it's just, you know, for them to, we always go back to their reasoning mind, we support the reasoning mind and say why and how can we solve this, so how can the solution be reached, for there is a problem, so how the solution can be reached. So we continuously observe our children and give feedback, and we are also very consistent. So now, when the guides are consistent in the environment, children develop a trust on the environment. We track the progress of the child through record keeping and observations. You know that here we follow the interest of the child. However, we also ensure that the child works on all the concepts, basic concepts, and has a clear understanding when they, and the foundation is clear, so that when they are ready to leave school and join 7th standard. So when you go to an elementary environment, you can see that there is a shelf, that is, we have books in the shelf, which is displayed, and these books are of different genres. Children are free to choose the books that they like, and read it whenever they want. Added to this, an adult reads to them on a daily basis. We have a read aloud session. So this session helps the children to enrich their vocabulary, improve their listening skills, and also have a shared love for stories. The idea here is reading is seen as a joyful process, rather than, you know, it's an academic need where, you know, they have to read fluently. But we see that, you know, reading is seen as a happy process. The for so art, we have art sessions happening on Fridays. An adult, there is a guide who comes and gives presentations on various techniques, and these presentations are also given in small groups. And again, there is a shelf with art materials, and children are free to work with the materials whenever they want. And art is integrated into everyday learning. So they were presented with a concept called pop-up book making, and children use that pop-up book making to make, you know, they were given introduced to parts of a flower. So they made a pop-up book with parts of a flower, and they made a pop-up book with types of triangles, and also, you know, life cycle of a butterfly. So art, we encourage children to infuse art in everyday learning. So we also do celebration, but the celebration is the child's work, and not the event. Adults frame the basic overall functioning, how the celebration should go, but the entire process is done along with the child. As you saw during the play, they did the backdrops. They decided what the dialogue should be. Should the dialogue be there or not? What kind of songs have to be included, and what should not be there. In through the process, they also supported each other, and they guided each other. Yes. So when children stay here for 6 years of time, they get to play different roles. They naturally be the youngest in the class, then in the middle, and the eldest. They naturally experience all the responsibilities that will be given in the environment, and also they will have ample time to synthesize, internalize all the concepts that are presented to them. As I told you earlier, we follow the needs of the child. We follow the needs and interest of the child. But they also have the responsibility to be clear with the basic foundation, that basic academic needs that the board, educational board has set up. And we also ensure that we cover all the basic concepts that is required by the educational board. We also prepare children for the transition when they move to 7th standard, and we also have meetings with parents regarding this movement to or another school. We discuss with them the different schools that are there and how their child might fit into one particular school. If parents have any particular request from us, and if that request resonates with our ideas, then we work on that request. So in the toddler environment, the focus is on life skills for independence and coordination. In Casa, the focus is on independence, coordination, sensorial exploration, literacy, and numeracy. But in elementary environment, the focus is on reasoning, imagination, research, and moral development. The goal here is for the child to become independent, confident, and self-motivated learners who love learning for life and not just for exams. Any questions?
Let's say there's a child who is not very interested in history and they don't really explore those concepts. So you mentioned you have a discussion as to how that can be supported. Right? So how does that usually look like? Because if I were that child, I would not go to history.
So, one of the, as we saw, these children love stories. So, history that we would have learned is full of facts, and it's about, he fought this king fought against this king, and it is full of dates. But here it is like a story. So, we have charts, and children work in groups. So usually they are attracted towards stories, and in spite of that, if the child is not taking up work from history, again we have discussions. We look at what is the challenge that the child is facing, and then we help the child to include it in his plan. And also we see that if there are any other ways to bring in history to the child. So that is how we do it. And after all this, as I said, the basic thing has to be covered. They have that responsibility to learn. So at times we are firm saying that, yes, you have this option or that. So choose one.
To add to that, sorry. So, in the curriculum, in traditional curriculum, there are distinct subjects: history, So, but in reality, in life, it's not like that. Everything is mixed. So, a child cannot be not interested in history, because history is story of what happened, what could have been done better. So, a child might will not be not interested in a particular subject. So, because everything is integrated, the child will be exposed to that and they will take interest. And because it's a mixed age group, a mixed group work, one child might be more interested and they will want to join. A child who is just observing, who might not be very interested in that initially, but they will observe the other children working, discussing, and they do a lot of art based on the concept. So they'll actually end up joining the group and learning about it, and they will want to.
So
So, so the way we perceive subjects is not real. It's not how it happens here.
and we don't call it as history, geography, math, English. We don't say the subject names. For example, if that is one area the child is not taking, and there are sometimes questions that crop up. They are doing writing. So how did writing come into existence? So we do stories, and we also have books where we it is not direct. It might be indirect also. So we might talk to them about writing. We might keep books that are related to writing, the history of writing. So that also will bring into the child's attention, that they can read and know about it. It's not it is not like this is history, do it.
The children once vacation is over and they come back, they talk about where they went, what they did. So that's geography. So they talk about if someone goes on an international trip, Australia pona. So where is Australia? They end up discussing about. So that is history. It's not named or labeled. Sorry, geography. It's not labeled geography, but they end up learning, talking, and doing geography. Class.
How did you go into the language concepts? Like, for example, the regular stream of education standard, you have this category writing, grammar, etc. Like, language in the Tamil in the you get like cover like lot of you want the if concept வந்து டெப்த்ல போனாதான் then they will know understand like okay திருக்குறள் like எல்லாம் இருக்கு and it is almost like 10th திருக்குறள் every standard they will be covering correct like 6th standard வரும்போது almost like 60 திருக்குறள் they will be covered அப்போ how this and that bridges the gap.
Okay. Not going into Tamil and English, generally what we will say is, see, language is built from Casa. And we don't say that, this topic is done, so do that. As history is writing, geography is writing. So children write, they continuously write, they do research work, they present projects, they work on projects. So that is where essays and all that come. We introduce different categories of poem, all that we do it. And we don't see it as a standalone activity. We never say that, can you write an essay about your recent visit to Ooty? We never say that, but we try to bring about in different ways the art of writing. Plus we also there in grammar and language we cover all the parts of speech, clause analysis, everything, and we encourage children to use it in different ways. Tamil is one thing that we are still working and trying to figure out.
That's very difficult for me.
It's been difficult for everyone,
Too
because
many topics to cover.
the main challenge with Tamil is the way we speak at home is different from the written language. Plus, from many of our homes, Tamil has disappeared. We speak in English, so the basic oral language is not there. So we are working on Tamil. We do a lot of grammar related activities to children here. We encourage them to write. Right now, children are able to do sentences with mistakes. We have not gone into Tirukural and all that. They do write on small topics, like they choose about, for example, a parrot or something, and they write about it. It's a group discussion. They discuss among themselves and they write. Seiyul and all, it's something they have not yet reached, at least the group of children here.
This is for the current set of elementary
Yeah.
children we are struggling because they came here at 6, 7 and அதுக்கப்புறம் building up the oral language, introducing alphabets and then இப்போதான் இந்த ஸ்டேஜுக்கு வந்திருக்கோம். பட் ஃபார் now இப்போ இருக்கிற 0 to 3லையோ 3 to 6லையும் we are trying to bring in Tamil earlier, right stage-ல கொண்டு வர we are trying, so that when they move on to 6 to 12 it's not that much of a struggle. What she's talking about is the current set where
current set.
where we are அவங்களுக்கு அந்த 0 to 6ல கொடுத்துருக்க வேண்டியது it got missed. So 6 to 12ல தான் oral language ஆரம்பிச்சோம், which should have started in toddler. Because and resistance, because when you show them at 6 to 12 தமிழ்ல பேசணும்னு சொன்னா, why should I talk in Tamil? நான் இங்கிலீஷ்ல பேசினா உனக்கு புரியுது, நான் ஏன் தமிழ்ல பேசணும்னு கேட்குறாங்க. So that resistance is also there. So in spite of all that,
Firm encouragement from the guides, we are trying to
so we are trying to say illa nee tamil பேசணும், we need that language and சொல்லி we are trying to bring it for this set.
Talking with the resistance, will they be able to next school ku போனாங்கன்னா 2 hours 3 hours இல்ல நீ எக்ஸாம் எழுதணும் யாரும் பக்கத்துல டிஸ்கஸ்
அது வந்து 11 yearsல we have a discussion with the parent and எந்த ஸ்கூல் போகிறாங்க, எந்த போர்டு போகிறாங்க, சிபிஎஸ்சி ஐசிஎஸ்சி வாட் எவர் தட் இஸ், ஒரு 1 year முன்னாடி we will have a discussion and then we will prepare the child for that. இங்கே ஸ்கூலில் இந்த மாதிரி தான் செட்டப் இருக்கும், போர்டு இருக்கும், டேபிள் சேர் இருக்கும், ஷூ போடணும், யூனிஃபார்ம் போடணும், இது எல்லாமே we prepare the child. And exam, so timing வழியாக எக்ஸாம் எழுதுறது, ஒரு ரைட்டிங், bringing it in paper, அது எல்லாமே she trains for the last 1 year with even the books if needed, I mean syllabus books if needed. The first year when they transition out of Montessori to a traditional setup, and the 1 year வந்து it will be struggle சொல்ல மாட்டேன், it will settling time இருக்கும், 1 year இருக்கும் where the parents have to support them because it is new. Even though we prepare here, when they enter it is new. So we would prefer, we suggest parents to go to a school where they are not mark oriented and the madri illama, if respecting the child is there in that school, that 1 year they will definitely settle, but that 1 year will take for them to adjust into that system. Academic wise they won't face any challenge because math, language and all, they are way ahead. So the challenge, they might have to put it into buckets. Oh, the history, the geography, the math, but they know all the concepts, they just have to put it in a bucket. The struggle is the freedom they had here was the difference in that 45 minutes or a timetable கொடுத்து அந்த struggle தான் they will have to adjust, but they will adjust. If you want, you can share how Ajay settled. Ajay is Divya's child. He passed out from here at 12 and now he's in Shraddha. So
we moved again to a CBSE school. So the first year for him everything was new, as in having to sit in one place. Someone else decides what you're going to learn, and you're going to, the movement is very restricted. You're going to sit there, you can only move during intervals. All these things were some things that he had to adjust to. But I think children being resilient, they quickly understand this is how this place works. Academically also, for math, see, when the language is so very well developed, anything if you read the book you'll understand, right? And a lot of math concepts they had already done here, and they were, say, a year earlier he had done here in the elementary class. They were getting introduced to that in his 7th grade. So it was academically he found it easy, but of course he didn't know how to write exams and all that. That took again, like, say, 2 exams to say till term 1, term 2, and then in that 1 year he got used to that also. So those were the logistical challenges. One area where there was a struggle was in Tamil. because the standard of Tamil in mainstream schools is it was, and also this also comes from the background that at home we don't have much of Tamil, so he didn't have that oral language background. So that was something. So, but otherwise, the settling in with that 1 year of gentle settling in, it was okay. There was no pressure from our side for in terms of any marks or anything. The school was also reasonably okay. So I would say overall the transition was very positive. But the uphill has to be expected for some time.
I remember Manu is Ajay's younger brother. He used to come and tell us, you know what? Integers na enna ippathaan paakkranga. They have just been introduced. They don't know what is percentage. So for them, for Ajay to know that his peers didn't know what it was, which he knew what was integers, rules for integers, how to do decimal multiplication, everything was clear. So for him to know that his peers didn't know. So we do here till cube root and all with Max. Max is quite advanced. So language also, English also in that for that matter, because they continuously write. So
I'd like to add one more point. What we came to know from speaking to Ajay's teachers were the way he understands the concepts and lessons were a bit different to how children who started from traditional schooling did. The depth of understanding that the child goes into in any subject that's being taught, and also the way he connected to life or in practical terms, the concept in book to the practical terms and the world around him. That was something many of the teachers, even teachers who did not know that he came from a different background, they expressed to us during parents' teachers. That was interesting to us.
So even the entrance exam, there was no fear. Ajay Kuda, I think Manu also wrote the exam.
Just wrote, he just came out in half an hour saying, "That's all. That's all."
Is it all up to the, so they don't have the fear of exam, that's not there.
It's a new
So
experience. That's all. I mean,
they don't have that fear of edume illa. So they just go
it can
right
be an advantage and a disadvantage also. But yeah, yeah.
disadvantage in one or two exams. They learn, oh, okay, this is what is expected. My son wrote a one-page answer for a 2-mark question. He didn't know. He didn't know that. Oh, 2 marks now. Red line maybe not. He didn't know because that was the first time. So after a couple of exams, a couple of terms, then he knew, okay, 5 marks ke persa எழுதலாம். For 2 marks, this is enough. That learning is what happens, and that they quickly learn.
Just to add from a different perspective, I recently started taking 10th for a child, 10th math. So she was at a CBSE school. She's studying on that. Okay, so I just got to know through contact and I started taking it for her. Like she joined only in November and she has a good level. So where are the gaps for her? That I'm seeing for her. Majority of the gaps is if she had gone through elementary. That's what kept coming back to my mind. If she had gone through elementary, half the problems, I mean, it's just she knows how to approach a problem. She has to write down the steps. The moment she starts writing, there are constant intrusions of where the sign will come, how they are going to add fractions, how they are going to how to simplify it, what are the common factors. These are like very elementary things which the child struggles with, and these are all sorted very much by 9 years here. These are like easily sorted for 9-year-olds in the elementary classroom. I just know about math because I'm only handling math there. But if the child had the experience of doing it again and again over the 6 years, she would ace through the paper easily. But it's just that is what is missing for the child. And it's hard to get her to do that again now because it's too simple and she knows it's much lower level, but she also knows she does not able to do it. And it's very, very traumatic for her that way. So just simple. I mean, even the tables, table A, table B, it took her some time to see that it's very simple for me to fill, but I'm not able to fill it, to retain that back. So just going through this is more than sufficient for her to write a 10th. That's what I would say. It's if you try to math. It's more than sufficient.
Yeah, for 6 years, they repeat the same thing in various forms without us saying that, do it, do it, do it, do it. இது repeat பண்ணா வரும். So, but that they do it through 6 years. So, my son is in 7th standard. I see his biology book. Okay, first 3 chapters is about leaf, flower, fruit. And I'm like, இன்னைக்கு காலையில தான் 6-year-old I gave a leaf presentation and I came. So, the same thing which they know. And also when he was working with geometry, it was about triangles. So on the triangles பார்க்கும்போது I got excited. Hey, this is it's a equilateral triangle. It's all acute angle. உனக்கு தெரியலையா? You did it no. அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு I could talk to him and work with him. So that basics are there. It is done in many different ways here. It's not one single way. They get to repeat it in different forms. They can write, they can draw, they can do stitching. So they do it in different ways for them to synthesize that idea.
So, these children work in groups, right? So when they come in at 6, so some of the children may be very outspoken and they may already have a clear idea of what they want to work, for example. Another child may not voice themselves out or their wishes out loud, maybe different personalities.
Yeah.
So when they come together in group, how does this group come to a point where everyone's points are heard? What this child wants to work on, if there is a difference, and how if this child is not able to express so much in a group setting, how all these group dynamics work out in
Divya, as I said, that observation is the key here. So we not only observe each child, we also see how that group dynamics is working out. For example, நானும் நீங்களும் ஒர்க் பண்ணுறோன்னா, is it my wish that is always coming? That நான் இப்போ verb எடுக்கணும்னு சொன்னேன்னா, are we choosing only verb? And is your voice not heard at all? So we continuously observe how each child is interacting. So based on that, again we have discussions and we say that it is for me. Then I say when that there is another child there, you must respect that we have to do it. We have to listen. You have to give in. That is also there, and we also encourage the other child, saying that why don't you come? So group இருக்கும் போதெல்லாம் we always take turns. So we encourage, saying, Divya, would you like to share your idea? Divya, what is your point of view here? So we give opportunities for the child to express themselves, and at times if that intervention is needed immediately, this is a long term progress. You observe, you give feedback, but adukulla kuda something would have happened. So if there is an intervention that is needed immediately, then we immediately step in and gently but firmly say that yes, today he wants to do this work. If you are not interested, you are free to go and work with another child, or you can work independently. But if Divya wants to work on work, then she's going to work on it. So we talk to children and provide help based on the situation also. Any other question?
So she was talking about freedom and responsibility. So at times I send a message saying, please don't send shoes, send lunch boxes and all that. It is because elementary children, they have to understand that it is their responsibility to do something, and if it is not there, they'll have to go through that consequence. So that's why I keep saying, if they forget something at home, it is okay. Let them come here, face the consequence, and take that responsibility. This is why I keep saying, so it resonates with the characteristic of an elementary child. So here also, if they forget to do something, the whole community faces. In their example, she said, if there are no papers kept, the whole community is going through that consequence and not just the child. That is the difference between Casa and elementary. In Casa, they just have to put back that work for the next person to get ready. and if the child is not yet there, the adult intervenes and does it. So I have an impact on the whole environment. That message is very subtle in Casa, but then in elementary environment, it is because they are trying to figure out where they want to be in the society. We always say, if this is your responsibility, and if it is not done, the whole community is going to get affected. That is how they find their place in the society. So this is like a mini world for them where they find their place. So that's why we keep saying, இப்போ ஈவினிங் ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ்க்கு ஷூ வந்துட்டாங்கன்னா ஷூ கொண்டு வந்து கொடுக்காதீங்க, லஞ்ச் பிடிக்கலன்னு லஞ்ச் கொண்டு வந்து குடிக்காதீங்க. தட் இஸ் வை வி கீப் சேயிங், பிகாஸ் வி வாண்ட் தெம் டு டேக் தட் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி. திஸ் இஸ் ஒன். Another thing is, all this that we are saying, Casa, elementary, எல்லாத்துக்குமே where we say this is how it functions, these are all the subjects we cover. It is for you to understand what your children are learning, and many of us have chosen this stream, I mean, not the traditional way but Montessori way, where we all have that fear of what will happen after 12. So these sessions are for that, for you to understand how it is functioning and all that. And the transparent classroom update is also for you to know what your child is working on. We would please request not to go home and ask your child, did you do fraction, did you do addition, and try to replicate what is that, materials, and do it at home. Because last time after the Casa, the children came and told me, we did it at home, we did subtraction at home and all that. So I don't want, this is for parents, for you to understand. Leave the academics to us, please trust us, we will take care of that. So we don't want you to, we would suggest not to replicate these materials at home and question your child or ask your child what you did. Fraction a பண்ணிட்டு இருக்க, why are you not doing addition, இந்த மாதிரி please please don't ask. We will take care. She is constantly observing. Preeti keeps a track of all children in elementary. Casa, Divya keeps a track of all children, and we have internal meetings every week. I also sit with them every week to see if all children are progressing. What do we intervene, how do we intervene? We are on constant discussion about each child's progress emotionally and academically. So we are taking care of it. So we would request parents to leave that part to us and relax.
Can I add?
Yeah.
If the child needs any support, then we will definitely come to you. So that time, please support us. That's also there. Okay. So that time, if there is a support needed from you, it will not be only with academic. It might be in different areas. So if that support you have to give from the at home, then please give that support also when we ask for it.
Yeah. If there is a challenge, if we feel that there has to be something done at home, it will be mostly simple. We are not going to ask you to repeat materials. It will be mostly simple. That time, that support is needed. Otherwise, academics will be taken care of by us.
But generally, exposing elementary children to a variety of things will help. Reading to them, not only about stories or part, you can introduce them to a different they want to know about everything. So space, dinosaur, anything and everything they are ready to know. So exposing them to different music. Now you are interested in music, then going to different some orchestra, that is also an exposure. You can expose elementary children to a lot of topics. That is something that you can do instead of doing addition, subtraction. That is something that you can do at home. And also responsibilities, as I said, they are making tea and all. You can happily hand over that responsibility to your elementary children. They will make dosa, they will make chapati. You can hand it over to them, and they will, at least till they are 10, they will happily do it. Adukapram they will again come and say sorry because they yeah. Yes, my son was doing at the age of 6. During COVID, he was doing. He will say that you sit, I will make dosa for you. you eat. That was a very happy stage. Now he's saying sorry, but then now he has got the skill, so now I can say sorry, I am tired, at least you make it for yourself. Then he does. So that is, you can give a lot of responsibilities to your children. They are ready. They will, elementary children, not toddlers. Toddlers ku vera mari. So you can do that.
How about the physical training? Like initially, when you have like sessions on Saturday, there will be a reminder message saying that.
இப்போவும் நடக்குது, but I'm putting it in elementary group and Casa group, not in the announcement. இப்போவும் நடக்குது. Yes, it is there.
எனக்கு ஒரு doubt இப்போ screen time வந்துட்டு எப்படி பார்க்குறீங்க as a grown up or 6 years க்கு மேல? How do you see that perspective? Because everything they are learning from the screens, and how do you see?
Zero screen time is the best solution for everything. We won't recommend giving screen to children, because there are a lot of studies saying that it's affecting the child's development. But other than that, yes, at
I
time.
see the reason questioning வந்துட்டு அந்த screen மேல stop ஆகுது. I see
Okay.
questioning அதை வந்துட்டு எப்படி handle பண்றது?
எனக்கு புரியல. ஏன் கொடுக்க மாட்டேங்கிறேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கேட்குறாங்க.
Because the child needs நிறைய inputs தேவைப்படுது அப்படின்றது. அது எல்லாத்தையும் நம்மளால வெளியில போய் காட்ட முடியல. ஸோ அந்த டைம்ல வந்துட்டு இப்போ நம்ம ஸ்க்ரீன்ல காமிக்கணும் அப்படின்றது எப்படி அப்ரோச் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னு ஒரு கைட்னா.
For specifically, we want to show them something regarding a subject. Now it is okay to use. Although limited hour, that is for half an hour or 1 hour, you are going to sit and see, that is okay. But that's only personal. So it's like a book. So, but giving full agency over the content or the relation to them, that's definitely not okay. So screen by itself is not bad. It's a tool, of course. But what are the boundaries with which the children can use it is what we need to do.
Because I see like இனி வந்துட்டு கேட்பாங்க, நான் இன்னைக்கு மூவி பார்த்தேன்மா, ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்குது அப்படிங்கிறதுல கேட்கலாமா, அடுத்த டைம் வேணும் அது அந்த அப்படி ட்ராவல் ஆகிட்டே இருக்குங்க. என்னால் அதை எப்படி ஹேண்டில் பண்ணுறது?
See, இப்போ படமோ ஏதோ பார்க்குறீங்கனாலும் ப்ளீஸ் மேக் ஷூர் தட் யூ வாட்ச் இட் with them. That is
yes, if it is age appropriate. See, zero screen time overall எல்லாருமே சொல்றது zero screen time, but then I don't think it is possible at this age. So if you are going to give screen time to your child, one first content, how much sure are you about the content? So you have to watch it first. If it is a movie, you have to watch it first, and then if you feel it is completely okay, you can let them watch. Other ways to co-watch with them, you sit with them and watch, and that becomes, the child is not engaged only with the screen, so you are there, so it becomes an interaction with you. So screen is in the, it is secondary, interaction with you is the first. So that is one. Innone time limit. எப்போ வேணால் டிவி பார்க்கலாம், ஒரு எவ்வளோ நேரம் வேணால் டிவி பார்க்கலாங்கிறது, தட்ஸ் நாட் ஓகே, பிகாஸ் screen is not curated for children. So you have to limit the time. Overexposure to TV, we have lot of side effects, we all know that. So limiting their time to 1 hour or half an hour, whatever that is with respect to you. So whatever movies we play here, we both are play therapists, so we choose movies from Disney that will
Stories can be highly
therapeutic. அந்த மாதிரி மூவிஸ் மட்டும்தான் நாங்கள் ஸ்க்ரீன் பண்ணுவோம். அதுவும் we have a discussion internally. அதில் ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு டெத்துன்னு வந்தால் கூட, இஸ் இட் ஓகே, ஆர் சில்ட்ரன் யங் இனஃப் டு ப்ராசஸஸ், அதெல்லாம் நிறைய யோசிச்சு அப்படிப்பட்ட மூவியை மட்டும்தான் ஸ்க்ரீன் பண்ணுவோம். அதுவும் டேர்முக்கு ஒன்ஸுங்கிறதே பெரிய விஷயம்.
ஒன்றும் கிடையாது, இயர்லி 2 நடந்தா
பெரிய விஷயம். ஸோ we are very careful about that content and how it will impact children, and all of us will be sitting with children. If children are upset, if children are going through something, we are there to support them. So that is how movie happens here. It's not like போட்டு விட்டுட்டு நாங்க அப்படி இல்லை. ஸோ மூவி ஹேப்பன்ஸ் ஹியர் லைக் அந்த மாதிரி. இஃப் யூ கேன் அலவ் தெம் டு வாட்ச், டெஃபினட்டாக வைன்னு கொஸ்டின் வரும். பிகாஸ் peers are watching, why are you not giving me, this is the age they will ask. அவங்க அம்மா அப்படி பண்றாங்க, நீ மட்டும் ஏன் பண்ணல, இது எல்லாமே they will come up. So this is how we can handle it.
இங்க மூவி வாட்ச் பண்ணும்போதும் they have the freedom to get up and go.
Yes.
It's not necessary for them to sit through the movie. Some children, they just get up and go, saying that I'm not
Interested.
in சொல்லிட்டு பார்க்காம போயிடுவாங்க. They will be drawing, or they will leave the room and go. And also this screen time is for elementary children, not for
Casa
and toddler. It's not for Casa and toddler, elementary children. உங்கள் ஃபேமிலிக்கு எது ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகும் அப்படிங்கிறத டிஸ்கஸ் வித் த சைல்ட். ஆஸ் ஐ செட், தீஸ் சில்ட்ரன் கேன் ரீசன், தே கேன் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட். எல்லாமே நீங்கள் சொன்னாலும் தே மைட் சே தட் இல்லை எனக்கு 1.5 மணி நேரம், பட் யூ ஹாவ் டு சே தட் 30 minutes தான் 30 minutes, இதுதான் நம்ம வீட்டு ரூல், அண்ட் வாட் இஸ் த கான்சிக்வன்ஸ். அது எல்லாமே நீங்கள் டிசைட் பண்ணிங்கன்னா தே வில். ஐ வில் நாட் சே இட் இஸ் அன் ஈஸி ரைட், பட் யூ கேன் ஸ்டில்.
I have a friend who is going to a practice. அவங்க வந்து she's 6 years, பார்த்தா Lion King மூவி கூட்டிட்டு போயிருக்காங்க. That is the first time she's introduced to screens and the Lion King. And I think so there is one character who dies.
It's not.
It is அவளுக்கு
It is traumatic, yes.
And அது வந்து வெளியில அவளுக்கு வரதுக்கு it was almost like ரொம்ப challenging ஆ இருக்கு. And the parents are like அவங்க வீட்ல காமிக்கிறது இல்ல. So stories வந்து something like or death or like kind of a negative thing that is happening in the kid is not able to take it.
Yes, they will not be able to take it. At the age of 6, they will not be able to take it. அதுவும் எதுவுமே எக்ஸ்போஷர் இல்லாம ஸ்ட்ரெயிட்டா போய் லைன் கிங் இஸ் அ வெரி yes,
அந்த ஸ்டோரியில they were not able to take it. Whereas இப்போ the kids எல்லாம் வந்து just like part and parcel in the character is done அப்படிங்கிறது அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கு. How do we deal with that like later stage la people?
We have when we screen for movies, we have resources. So that's a website where age rating இருக்கும், and for every movie there will be a very detailed review of இந்த சீன்ல death இருக்கு, இந்த சீன்ல bullying இருக்கு. So
which we will not be able to identify. Most of it we will catch it, but then ரொம்ப சட்டிலா இருக்கிற bullying and death அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாத்தையுமே it will list out and say this scene has this scene has this. அந்த மாதிரி என்ன இருந்தாலும் we will remove that movie and we will screen something else. That is how we do it.
Even mention of death, death or concept பத்தி ஏதோ லைட் ஆஃப் மென்ஷன் இருந்தா கூட they catch it and so we have resources to screen movies. And with regards to screen time, especially for younger children 0 to 6 or as I said, screen is a tool for learning, can be known, and 0 to 6 on the strict no screen time. The tool on it's after 6. Parents when it is harmful for children when the screen time replaces connection time. So when parents use screen to engage the child so that they can focus on something else or they can take a break for their hectic work. So Mari பண்ணும்போது தான் when the child becomes emotionally dependent on the screen because they are not be able to be by themselves or ஒரு adult for a adult இல்லாத ஒரு situationல they go. So that is when addiction starts happening. Only when there is a lack of connection with the people around them and they use this because that world is very safe. It is imaginary, it is fantasy, it is very safe. There is nothing threatening there. So that feels very safe for them and they build that connection of safety with that device. That is when the addiction starts.
Since this topic is up, death is a natural process. At what age do you think and how can this process or event how to take it to the children and how to make them comfortable with this? I mean, comfortable, not this idea is something that's that happens. It is natural. ஆனால் it is அது எப்படி வந்து in less traumatic way to
Sure. First, death is not traumatic. Death is a act of life. If the adults have that attitude, children are also traumatic போகாது. Basically, that our outlook that we have, it is only a mere passage to whatever is next. And for Casa children till 6 or 7, that is the time when their self is developing, a sense of self. So death is the end of that sense of self and the body. So
can you come again?
death, the mind dies and the body dies.
Okay.
Whatever the remains moves on. So, but when the mind is in its formative stage, when the child is exposed to a fact that whatever is forming now is going to end, that is not the right time for them to know or understand about it. So, after 6 or 7, when they get to know about death in various ways, animals, pets, and if a child naturally is being introduced to the concept of death due to grandparent or passing or friend or grandfather or passing on, that is inevitable and they will process it in their own way. But if we are intentionally going to introduce them or bring more after 6 or 7, when they are when their uh, individuality and their sense of self, this is me, and they go கொஞ்சம் strengthenize solidify ஆன அப்புறம் they can take it, but not until then. So even if you have to expose them to, if they are exposed to such concepts about death-related themes, movies apart from, hold it off for. So இதெல்லாம் பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் the age ratings have been set. So that is wonderful. We can trust at least Australian movies rated by the Australian government is very attuned to children. The same is not true for the Indian rating system.
Common sense media is which rates movies with all these scenes in this one மாதிரி
I think that's the
common
Yes,
sense.
that's அது ஆஸ்திரேலியன் பேஸ்டு அதில் ட்ரஸ்ட் பண்ணலாம் அந்த இந்தியன் கவர்மெண்ட்டோட சென்சார் போர்டு வி கான் ட்ரஸ்ட் பட் தென் வி கேன் go with
almost every popular
Yes, 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 yes.
not be Indian movies.
Yes, Indian movies irukadu. So what we show is only Disney movies, so it will be there. We don't show Tamil or nothing. We show only Disney because Disney movies are very therapeutic by itself. Uh, it is a tool for us in play therapy, therapeutic stories. So that is how Disney movies are. So we lean in towards Disney. And having said all that, when the concept of death is organically happen or introduced through something, the child is going to go through some level of trauma illa or dip varum. Immediate வர்ற fear வந்து what if my mother dies, what if my father dies. So that stage will be there, which we will have to hold them.
Especially in elementary child
Yes.
who is imaginative.
Yes.
And this concept comes in.
Yes.
And when, what if this happens?
Yes.
On the,
So அந்த fear கண்டிப்பா வரும். So
This happened in my sister's place. 2 kids. One kid was like around 5 before the grandma passed away. And the second kid was like 3 years. 5 years kid was able to like accept that okay, she has reached God's place. அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி இது பண்ணிட்டாங்க. Yes, she was able to understand. She was sad for it. Third 3 years old. அம்மா நீயும் டை ஆயிட்டேனா அந்த திங்க எனக்கு கொடுத்து
for the it's nothing. Yes.
whatever my sister has for herself, she keeps telling me that adult another use பண்ணிக்கலாம் whatever
Okay. So
so the 3 years
They don't
able to
adult.
process something like this.
nice way to look at it. So if we are done with questions, we'll go to the elementary environment. You go.
So we have been working with checkerboard, no? We have formed numbers and all that. Today we are going to learn multiplication using checkerboard. So what did we see? We saw that this is units, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, and a million. Today let's see how to do multiplication with this. So we are working on multiplication. Let's write the title of the work. I'm going to do something. I'm going to enter my name. What is today's date? 7 2 2026. Okay. So my first problem is going to be 2,314 taken 2 times. 2,314 is our multiplicand. We are going to form it here. Okay. We are going to use these black tiles to form the multiplicand. So 2,314 and our multiplier is 2, and I'm going to use this orange tile. So unit here. I'm going to multiply. Okay. Now I'm going to take 4 2 times. Okay. 4 taken 1 time, 4 taken 2 times. I'm going to take 1 2 times. 1 taken 1 time, 1 taken 2 times. Now I'm going to take 3 2 times. 3 taken 1 time, 3 taken 2 times. And I'm going to take 2 2 times. 2 taken 1 time and 2 taken. In multiplication, we always start counting from the lowest category, which is the units. Can you count this and tell me what it is?
1, 2,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8. So 4 taken 2 times is 8. Soundarya, would you like to count this? 1, 2. I'm going to change this. Okay. Now would you like to count? 3 taken 2 times?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 2 taken 2 times is 4. Okay. Now we have finished our multiplication. Now let us enter the product. How many units are there? Yeah, 8 units. So I'm going to write it under the units. 8 units. How many tens are there? 2. I'm going to write it under the tens. Hundreds? 6. How many thousands are there? 4. I have finished my multiplication. My multiplicand was 2,314. My multiplier was 2 and my product is 4,628. Now you can form your own numbers and you can multiply. So usually in this presentation what will happen is one child will be an experienced child and the other child might be new. So they will form the numbers, and also I would not say that experienced child might know the multiplication facts. Either of the children can know multiplication facts. And when I say 4 taken 2 times, one child might give me the answer saying that it is 8, but I have an inexperienced child here. So I will still keep, 4 taken 2 times. And when they are counting, we will say, if she's going to say 4 taken 2 times is 8, we will say, the other child might not know. I will say, would you like to count and check if her answer is correct? So they count and check, so that in this way, both their skills are, this child is already, she's very clear with the multiplication facts. The other child is still in the process of reaching that stage, but both of them equally participate in the process. So then they continue working on this many number of times. Then we move to 2-digit multiplication, and then gradually children will move on. And we have a lot of steps that come after this, and gradually they will move to multiplication on paper. Yeah.
So
You have question.
the concept பேப்பர்ல பார்த்து நம்ம எழுதுவோம். இந்த மெட்டீரியல்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணாங்க கரெக்டாக இப்போ நம்பர்ஸ் மட்டும் கொடுத்து எழுதுறாங்க. அந்த பீரியட் எப்போ
Age illa. It is not based on their understanding, and that will naturally come. We don't force the child, write it on paper and learn it. We don't. That's what I said. No, there are a lot of steps behind. This is just an initial presentation. If you are in elementary environment, every day one child might be doing checkerboard. So there are a lot of steps following this presentation, and the steps will lead to abstraction. Sometimes some children naturally reach it. For some, we have to introduce it, but we don't do it for a 6-year-old and all. And that is, it depends. Sometimes an 8-year-old would have just rushed through all the steps and they would have reached it. For some children, it might take a little bit more time. Okay. If you can you whisper in Gauri's ears? Can you smile? Can you laugh? Okay. So, can you jump? Gauri, can you jump? Can you walk? Can you run? Today we are going to work with words like run, jump, smile, dance, sing. These are all action words, and today we are going to work with action words. So we have the cards here. Let's place it. So we have not yet worked with this red cards, no? Today we are going to see what it is. We have already worked with article. What is article? A and the. Yeah. It told us one of the many. We have worked with adjective. Noun. What is noun? Who can tell me what is a noun? Noun is the name of things that you see around you. We saw, no, we went around the environment and we found that there is nothing that does not have a name, no? So that is noun. So this is adjective which told us, about noun. Today in this box we don't have anything. Now, who would like to read and who would like to do the action? Who would like to read and who would like to do the action? Okay. Card, I'm going. Okay. Yes. Can you read the first sentence?
speak a word?
Can you do the action, Gauri?
Whisper a word. So will I be able to read everything?
Yes, we will take turns. So next time you will get the chance to do the action and she will get to read. Okay. Speak a word. Okay. Speak will be in the red cards. Gauri, can you read?
Untie.
Untie,
Tie.
tie,
Shut.
shut, lock,
Unfold.
unfold. You
Fold.
can also join. Fold,
Speak.
speak. Can you place it here? Yeah. Speak. Now, where will word be? Yes, word is a noun. Let's see. Speak a word. Now, what has happened here? Whisper a word. Speak has changed to whisper. I'm going to find whisper. Let us read this. Fold, unfold, lock, shut, tie, untie, whisper. Whisper a word. Now we are going to place symbols. The symbol for this action word is red circle. Okay. Do you remember what is the symbol for article? Yes, it is the small blue triangle. Now, what is the symbol for noun? It is the black triangle. Okay. So, we have already worked with a part of speech called article, which told us one or one of the many. We have worked with noun, as you told me, that it is the name of everything that you see around you. Then we saw adjective. Adjective is describes the noun. Today we saw a new part of speech that is called verb. Verb is the action word. A word whisper. No, that's not okay. A whisper word. No. Whisper a word? Yes. Now you can take turns and work with all the cards that are here, and you must do all the actions also. Any questions? These shapes are introduced in Casa. They don't know it is as verb or adjective or noun, but it is a continuation. Here the naming is done. They know the function. They are already aware of the function from Casa. Here they will give the name to it.
This is a sensorial impression of grammar. So when they see this sentence, right, it is a red circle and a small blue triangle and a black triangle. It is a verb, article, and a noun. This is one kind of sentence structure. So for the sensorial child, this is introduced grammar.
They write sentences and they'll be drawing these circles, triangles, and you have this for preposition, and for an outside person it might look, what is this? Oh.
This is classified so that all these shapes, words are go together. Just that mapping. The sensorial mapping between this. It becomes
When it abstract, we don't need these anymore.
So this for Hari, this presentation they had already given. So Suganya's new, but they would have got an initial presentation about the function of leaf. So they would have been introduced what are the needs of plant, and we would have looked at, what is the function of leaf. So both of them know what a leaf does. Okay. So we were working with leaf, the other day. So what did we see? Remember the chart we had? What did we see? Hari, can you tell me what did we see?
Leaf is the food factory.
Leaf is the food factory. So what do you mean by food factory? What does it do?
The leaf is where the food for the plant is made.
Yes. How does it make?
It gathers sunlight, there is water coming from the roots, and there is also carbon dioxide which they take.
Okay, so the carbon dioxide is broken into 2 parts of hydrogen and 1 part of oxygen, and it prepares. So plant, we know the plant can't go for hunting, so they have to make their own food, right? So this is the food factory. Leaf is food factory. And remember, Hari told us this green part helps in preparing the food. So this green part of this leaf is called as blade or lamina. This green part is the blade or lamina. Now we have something. We discussed that water. It needs water. So how does this water reach the leaf?
Veins.
Veins. Oh, you know the part. Okay. Veins. So the veins take the water to the leaf. Can you see it here? See, there are lots of veins. So this is the vein. Okay, and what is this part? This is the midrib. Okay, it is also a main vein, and it also helps to hold the leaf. Now we have this tip. The tip of the leaf is called as the apex. Okay. Now what is this? Hari, do you remember what is this? Petiole. Yes, this is called as the petiole, and it comes from the Latin language petiolis, which means the little foot. Okay, so this is the little foot of the leaf, and this border of the leaf is called as margin. Now, can we try to remember what we did? What is the tip of the leaf called as? Apex. Okay. Okay. Now, what is this green color part of this leaf called as, Hari?
Blade.
Blade. Blade or lamina. Okay. Now, what is the part that is taking water everywhere to the leaf? Do you remember? Yes, veins. And this is the midrib. And what is this little foot of the leaf called as? Petiole. And the margin of the leaf is called as blade, margin. Thank you. So now I have some leaves here. You can work with the leaves, and we also have a booklet with which you can work. Usually this presentation is done downstairs with leaves, and then we collect some leaves and come, and we do a review like how we did now. We do a review, and children either stick the leaves on the paper, they draw and mark the parts, they make a booklet, and they will be working on it. And we also have cards where they can match, if they don't want to do any writing work, they can still match and do. We have some cards in a pouch that they can match and do it, or if they want to read, they can read. So there is a lot of variety and options here, and this experienced child would have done it many times. So he might also show it to the child that we can draw it like this, or we can do embroidery and do. So that also will happen. Any questions? One more presentation, we will go to the out. Yeah, you can. So we were working with fundamental needs. We saw the pictures, no? We classified the pictures. So what is a fundamental need? Can you tell what is a fundamental need? Provided here, that is one experienced child. It's there in the chart. Let us look at it. Can you hold there? Paperweights. Okay, now let us look at what is this. Yeah, there is something here. Can you read? What is this? Nourishment. What is nourishment? It is food. We need food, no? Do you think we need food on all days from the day we were born? Yes, we need food from the day we were born. And do you think early human beings also needed food? How did they get their food? They went for hunting. Can we see what are the different kinds of food that is available? Oh, there is something called as animal substances. Yes, I drink milk. No? What is vegetable substances? We eat those strawberries and bananas, we like it. So that is vegetable substance. So water is also very important. The other day you were telling me water is also very important. Now what else is there? What can we see? Clothing. Do you think early human beings, very first human beings, did they wear clothes? No. There will be a lot of giggling here now because they know that early human beings did not wear dress. So why did they, need dress? To keep themselves warm. It was cold, and to protect them from the weather, they needed clothing. Now, what is there? So we get clothes from plants. Yes, cotton. In Chennai, we prefer to wear cotton dress. Now it's hot here, so cotton dress from cotton. And then what do we have? Oh, we get cloth. What are the clothes that we get from animals? Do you know? Leather. Leather. Yes. Okay. Then I don't know. Fur. When it's cold, in extremely cold weather, there are people who wear clothes that are made out of fur to keep them warm. And then feathers are also used to make clothing. Silk, yeah, silk comes from insects. Okay. Now all these are something that these are all in red. This is called as material need. Now let us look at this. There are some instruments. Music. Yes, music is very important for us. Do you think we can live without music? Music gives us a lot of happiness. What is there here? Books. Oh yeah, I need books. I cannot live without books. What do you need? What do you like books? Okay, what will happen if there are no books?
Boring.
It will be boring. And we will also not know what is happening somewhere else. No, we will not be able to read stories. We will not be knowing what is happening around the world. So, book, music, all these are spiritual need. So after this, we take it based on how the child is. So they might have, they might discuss about transportation. We also link it back to early human beings. So how do you think early human beings move? Do you think they had car, trains? So how did they move? Oh, they used their legs to move. Later, they might have invented wheel, and they made carts, and they might also use animals to move from one place to another. So we have discussions on the different modes of transport. This is history for you. So, so it's not directly given as history, and we do. So children research. Again, they make booklets. They draw. So there is a lot of drawing involved. So they draw.
Almost science and history, everything.
Yeah. So there is every area is linked to other areas. There is no, as you would have noticed when I wrote multiplication, I drew. So children, after finishing the problem also, we put some design. So art is linked. So we try to incorporate everything, and it comes naturally also. Children might take it. It's not necessary. They might write a poem after this. So you were asking about, how do they essays. So this will come as a detailed research work. So that incorporates essay, and we don't 99% we don't say that you must do this. So it is based on child's needs and interest. Any questions in this?
Another there's religion there, right? How do you talk to children about that? Because it's a very
Yeah. So we do see before this, the child would have looked at pictures where there is a mass, there is a church, and a temple. We specifically say that temple gives us a lot of happiness, but some of us don't go to temples or we meditate. So that is also a form of, it calms me down. If the child is asking a lot of questions saying that they might follow a particular religion or they might not follow, we take it as a separate discussion, not in this. We just give a brief introduction, and based on that we might do a presentation on religion. Anything else? Any other questions? That's why I told her this is history. Yeah, one of the key lessons in history. So as I said, we always connect it back to how people who lived millions of years ago, how did they work out. So it is to, as I said, to that wonder, awaken wonder, gratitude towards the society. So history, the main aim of everything is to awaken the wonder, gratitude, that, and I'm also responsible for this.
Then they will not know this as history. But
Yeah.
this is fundamental needs.
Yeah, that's all. You don't say this as history.
Not for the children. Sorry? The students also taught.
Not taught.
It's not taught, but mostly children will learn by themselves. Focus on art, music, we have this, they will explore it, and only they figure out how to play it. We don't have a specific person to teach. This is all our vision, EPC's vision of children should have the love for book reading. And art is something that is there everywhere. It's very important for us that children have that skill, not skill, interest for art, and books is something pretty brought in book reading as such. And celebration also, our focus was not on religion or that event. We wanted to celebrate children. That is the focus of our school, where we celebrate children's work and children. Elementary children, the comes because they have the skill set and all that. What about other art forms like dance and we don't 3 to 6 dance along.
They Casa they dance.
But it's not introduced as a skill or something. It's just moving your body, playing music and moving.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so